aside for right now. That's the folder that's going to go to your teacher. And I'll go through the forms and everything that's in there in a minute. But the forms that are in the color folder are for you, and that's what we need to be talking about first. All right, the first thing that you're going to see in the color folder is a calendar. So the only thing I don't have, now that I didn't think about those days, is an early release, but everything else is here. So this is March, and this is April on the back. There's a copy in your packet, and there's a copy for the teacher in the Sarah packet. So if you'll notice, for your days, or for all of the B days, I have in yours 11:45 to 2. Please make sure that you talk to your teacher about that you will not be there from 11:45 to 2. That means that's your range of time, and that you could be there from 11:45 to 1:20, or you might be there from 12 o'clock to or 12:30 to 2, or you may put it right in the middle and go home first and then go to lunch, whatever. But make sure that you've got 90 minutes in there. And it's not necessarily whichever 90 minutes you want to be there, because it depends on what the teacher is doing during that time. If the kids go to special areas or they have lunch, that's when you need to work your lunch around. So you cannot make it so that you and your best friend have lunch together every day regardless of what the teacher's schedule is. Please understand that. That's one of the things that you need to find out right away from your teacher. I do have some information about that if they gave it to me when they signed up, and I can look for that for you. But how many of you have heard from your teacher? You've already established contact back and forth. Either you've emailed or they've emailed. Okay, so most all of you have. If you have not heard from your teacher, if you did, those of you who did not raise your hand, have you sent an email to the teacher and they just haven't replied, or you haven't even sent one? You better do that today then. Send that teacher an email. That's why I gave you the address, because you've got to ask them things like this. You've got to ask them, what time do you want me to be there? These are the times. You don't want to arrive and find out that all their classroom time's over. You've missed it on the first day. You don't want to get there and they've just gone to lunch. You've got to contact your teacher and find that out before Tuesday. You also need to find out from your teacher where you're going to park. What activities are going on that day. I know at least one class where there's going to be a substitute on the first day. And that's okay. That's something that teacher cadets always ask, and cooperating teachers always ask me. What do I do if there's a substitute? Is the cadet supposed to come? Yes. What a great experience for you to see the different ways kids behave. You know for a fact that kids do not behave the same way when a substitute is there. Lots of times after you've gotten rolling with this, the teacher will leave lesson plans to have you do the teaching, and the substitute's just there. I've had teacher cadets walk in on the very first day and they're teaching because there's a substitute. You don't want to do that. But you do want to have your, you want to see that. You want to be there, and that's something that you should write about in your blog. The changes in behavior that you notice when a substitute is there as opposed to when the regular teacher is there. Are there changes in routine? Do the kids act out more? Is there somebody who does something that they don't ordinarily do? You'll see the changes in that. And then you will also, if you get to see two different subs, you can make a comparison. Sub Lady A had that class under control. She did everything the teacher said. Sub Lady B said, let's play games all day. Doesn't matter what the teacher left for the lesson plan. And then you'll be there when the teacher comes back after Sub Lady B did not follow the lesson plans, and see how the teacher has to compensate for what was not done. So those are things you need to see. So yes, you need to go whenever there's a sub. All right, so you've got the calendar. You've got to find out, and if I were you, on your teacher's calendar, whenever you get that time that's going to work for you, when they say, I'd like for you to be here this time or this time, go ahead and write that in, and just on the teacher's and on yours, write it in there so that you've got it. Make sure that your teachers know that Wednesday hours are different. We don't have that many Wednesdays. Actually, you've only got 4 total in the 2 months because it's only every other week. So, but make sure that they know. Now, I've put on there 8 to 9 a.m. is optional. See that on a Wednesday? For most of the 5B, they will go ahead and be there at 8 o'clock and just stay on. But for you, that's a little bit different. But morning routines are so special in classrooms, at least at the elementary level, that if you can go from 8 to 9, I highly recommend that you do. That's when they have their morning meeting. That's when they greet each other, they set the plans for the day, all of that. So if you can go from 8 to 9, I know it's Wednesdays, it's just 4 of them over the next 2 months. You can count those as service hours. Yeah.
What if you have another cadet in your same class? Like you both would be there. Like
oh, because one of you is a 5B and one of us is a 7B?
Is
That would be okay, as long as it's okay with the teacher, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, look at March 18th.
What about March 11th?
Huh.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too.
Write it in. Thank you for noticing that. I just missed it when I was doing the calendar. So it should be the same as Monday, March 7th. So go to March 11th and write in. You can just write in your times if you want. You don't have to write in the 5B times.
Should we write in the teacher?
And I'm going to need to let my 5B class know that they need to, write it in on the teacher because they'll think you're not coming. All right, so there are 2 days in March that I want to call your attention to. Thank you for noticing that 11th. That makes 3 days. The first is March 18th. That is our makeup day. It's a B day. It's that extra B day where we have 2 B days in a row. So I'm using that as your all day at school. You are required by Sarah and by Newberry College to spend 1 full day in the field. And so we're going to use that B day makeup day as that day. So make sure that your teachers know that you will be with them from the time they start school that morning until the time they dismiss. So if they get out of school at 2:25, guess what? So do you. Yeah. Yes.
What if we already have a field trip that day?
For what?
Student council.
And you have to do it. So you'll just have to swap another day. And I hate that, or choose between student council and...
I mean, student council's like going for the whole weekend.
Oh. Then you'll just have to pick another day. And maybe because of that, you'll need to do, I don't know, you may want to wait to go after, like, when AP tests are over, and get, as long as you get a full day in there before the year's over. All right, the other one is March 22nd. Look at March 22nd. They have PASS testing in the elementary and middle schools. You're not allowed in the building. So that day, you will come back here, and we'll have seminar. For us, that's like show and tell day. You'll be excited to come back and see everybody and tell stories of what's happening in your class. And by that time, somebody will have a crush on you. You will have gotten a love note from somebody. You will have gotten pictures. Somebody will say something adorable. Somebody will do something hilarious. Somebody will do something awkward and embarrassing. There you will have stories to tell. So keep a little journal, or you'll be keeping your blog anyway, but be thinking as we move towards that day what you want to talk about, because everybody, we can't take the entire time doing nothing but telling stories, but everybody don't have a chance to tell a story. So you're gonna don't wait till that day to go, what can I talk about? You need to remember when something happens, oh, that's it.